So I done lost count, but the next thing I would say do is to reach out to the debt collectors. So I wouldn't reach out to them necessarily before I start disputing things, but I would say you want to reach out to them. So things that are current, right? When I say current, I guess it's not the right word to use. Things that are actively being paid. You have an ongoing open account with these companies, and at some point you fucked up and you might have like missed a payment and it showed up on your credit report, or it's just something that is actively being fought for you to pay, things like that. You can pick up the phone and call these people, and you can basically tell them, hey, this is what's going on. Never admit to anything if you speak to them, because that's what they want. They want you to admit, hey, I owe you guys money. Don't fucking do that. But pick up the phone and basically see what you can do. And I can make a video explaining how to go about that, because that is a process all its own. Find ways to increase your history. So in my opinion, not in my opinion, but one thing that I did do is find people who actually cared about me, that trusted me, and saw that I was actually driven to get the situation done, that allowed me to kind of piggyback off of their history. So take, for instance, if someone say it's a wife, a girlfriend, a mother, a friend, uncle, whoever, who knows you, right? Knows the situation you're in and knows what you're trying to do about it. They actually can contact the credit companies that they have, or like say they have a credit card or something like that, and they can add you on as an authorized user. What that does is it allows you to get access to the credit history. So everything that is past, present, and future that goes along with that account, as far as like the payment history and shit like that, you'll actually be able to see that show up on your credit report. And just as if it was your actual account, you'll actually get the credit for it. You'll actually get the credit history. You'll get the credit limits. It'll all be added into all of your information, and it actually looks very good, because if you don't have any of that, and all of a sudden you just pop up with 5 years of history, 6, 7, even 10, $20,000 worth of available credit, that looks freaking amazing. The thing is, you don't want to do it with somebody that you don't trust. If they're messing up, any of the negative also affects you negatively, just like the positive affects you positive. I would say the next thing, now this is kind of like something that I did, it worked, but then it didn't work. So I would say I probably had about a 60%, it worked on about 60% of the ones that I tried it on. And that would simply be to dispute inquiries. So if you are, or if you recently attempted to like purchase a car, or you just been like sending out applications for different things, knowing your credit is fucked up, you decided trying to get it, and you have a bunch of inquiries on your credit report, dispute the inquiries. There's an option to dispute those. You can do the same thing as far as like going to the apps, dispute it through the apps. You can dispute it through the website. You can dispute it through simply picking up the phone and calling the credit bureau. You can dispute it even with the company that shows up on your credit report. If I attempted to call such and such credit, and apply for a credit card or something like that, and I didn't get it, you can dispute that, because sometimes there's no proof that you actually attempted to do it. You know what I mean? I believe this is either number 10 or number 9, but I'll say ask for increases on your credit. So if you're somebody that's starting out, obviously that's not gonna be something you can do. But after maybe about 6 months, I would say anywhere from maybe like 3 to 6 months, attempt to increase credit limits and on your credit reports, not loans, but on your credit report, on your credit cards. So just call them up. Sometimes the credit card companies have apps. They have options for you to ask for an increase. Ask for an increase. Put your information in there, ask for an increase. Stuff like that does not affect your credit score. If anything, if you get approved, it'll actually help increase your score. Because the more credit you have available, meaning this credit you haven't used that's just out there for you to use, it actually benefits you. It looks really good on your credit report that you have all this fucking credit that you haven't used. The last thing I would say is, and this is kind of like a multiple part thing, but I guess it just has one point. Keep your utilization as low as possible. The rule of thumb is to attempt to be 30 and below. If you want A plus credit, meaning you got history, you got all the big shit, but you can't figure out why you can't get that credit score to jump over 700, things like that, you need to even attempt to get your credit score below 10%. And not your credit score, but you need to get your credit limit below 10%, right? 10% utilization, meaning you have 90+% of credit out there that you haven't used. It's just available for you. And when you start rolling into the big numbers, like you want to start pushing like close towards the ends of the 700s, close towards the 800s, you might even want to think about getting as low as like maybe even 3 or 2% credit utilization, meaning you either use a little, like a very small amount of your credit utilization, or you have a gigantic 50, 60, 70, $100,000 credit limit in total of all your credit cards. And the last thing I would say is just ask for help, right? If this is number 10 or this is the extra, I don't know, I lost count, I'm sorry. But ask for help, ask people, you know what I mean? Don't be afraid to speak on it, you know what I mean? If you see people out there doing things, like I said, the biggest thing to me is me getting this car and so many people that I didn't know that had poor credit or, you know, a low credit score or were just struggling with it, asking me like, hey, what did you do? You know what I mean? Like, how much did you have to put down, this and that? And they don't really know a lot about credit, you know what I mean? They don't really know a lot about it because they use it when they want to use it, and the rest of the time they just don't give a shit about it. They let shit go by the wayside, they miss payments, they do a lot of things, they're not focused on it. And, you know, being able to keep track and set goals and have a reason behind it is very beneficial. It'll help you out a lot, but don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to call these people and talk to them about your situation. Don't be afraid to call these credit repair companies and figure out what it is they can do for you, what they do about it. Watch a couple YouTube videos and understand people who are selling these services or simply just giving out free information. It's a lot of free information out there. And obviously, you're on YouTube, you're watching this video on YouTube. Like, just Google how to fix my credit for free, how to fix my credit for this. Figure out what it is that they do, and fucking go for it. You know what I mean? Credit is going to be necessary, at least in America here, for a shit ton of things. And if you start right now, within years, just like weight loss and everything, pretty much. If you start right now, you start getting yourself educated, you start understanding, you too can get whatever it is you want. You know what I mean? Regardless of if you make $1 million a year, you might make $20,000 a year. Now, I don't say go get a fucking $30,000 car, making $20,000 a year. Don't fucking do that. You know what I mean? But attempt to better yourself. Attempt to figure out ways to fucking get what it is that you want, and start today, man. So those are my tips on how to increase your credit score, because obviously I want everybody to get what it is they want. And if you don't have just straight cash, straight paper, you're gonna be out here needing some credit, and start today. You know what I mean? Get this information, take it in, figure it out. Start today. Holla back at your boy, man.